There are some really big changes coming to required minimum distributions in 2023 and beyond. And in today's video, we're going to cover 3 of those major changes and how you should be responding to them. First, if you're new here, welcome. I'm Thiago, and I run a retirement planning firm that specializes in serving federal employees. And we can only work with a certain number of clients each year, so we made this channel to share what's working for our clients. So if you're planning your retirement, or maybe you're already retired, consider subscribing to the channel to help make the most of your wealth in retirement. Okay, so RMDs. As is usual, Congress has passed yet another law, and it's had sweeping effects in various areas. And this law is called the Secure Act 2.0. We made a whole video about that law, and the link to that video is in the description below if you're interested. But one of the changes that was brought forth by this act are changes to the required minimum distributions, or RMDs. And the first major change created was in the RMD ages. Now, the year in which you were born is what's going to impact when you have to take your RMD. So if you were born in 1950 or before, you're still in the same 72 RMD age, or if you had to take RMDs prior to the first Secure Act, 70 and a half. Now, if you were born between 1951 and 1959, your new RMD age is now going to be 73 years old. So you have a whole extra year to plan and do things to help save in taxes. And if you were born in 1960 or later, your new RMD age is now 75 years old. Now you might be thinking, that's a really long time away. Why do I really care about this? Well, what it does is it extends what we call your tax planning window. That window gives you an opportunity to maybe realize taxes when you're not such in a high bracket like you will be when you have to start taking distributions at your RMD age. And we've had a lot of clients be very successful in being able to reduce their total retirement tax liability simply by implementing strategies within those years. Remember, everything that comes out of your RMD is 100% fully taxable, and it gets faster over time, so you can be pushed into high tax brackets without even realizing it. But that's not all of the changes to the RMDs. There's still 2 others we're going to discuss. The first is that Roth 401ks, or in this case the TSP, will no longer have RMDs applied to them. Before, if you had money in the Roth TSP, the RMD would be calculated and include that Roth component. So your RMD was actually bigger than it needed to be, which meant that you paid more taxes than you really needed to. Now, another major change is the reduction in the penalty for having missed that RMD. This was one of the worst penalties that the IRS had in the law, and it was 50% of the amount that should have come out but didn't. So for example, let's say you had a $16,000 RMD and you messed up and you only took out $10,000. So there's $6,000 that should have come out as well. Well, the penalty for that used to be 50%, so $3,000 in a penalty for having missed that. But fortunately, the new rule reduces that to 25% and even as low as 10% in certain cases. Now, a question that we get a lot from people is, how will this impact my retirement plan? First, I think it's going to impact just about everyone given how the rule is structured, but some families will have a much higher impact than others. For example, if you're someone who is maybe a little behind on your tax reduction system, let's say maybe you're 67 or you're 68 years old and you just realize that you have an RMD problem that needs to be fixed. There's certainly a little bit of relief knowing that you have a little extra time to implement some of those tax saving strategies. But for those of you who are a little younger, maybe mid-50s to mid-60s, you have a number of extra years that you'll have before you have to start taking your RMD. And remember, those years are what we call your tax planning window. And in this period of time, where you're not forced to take that money out and you're not forced to be taxed on it, you have an even greater benefit to strategies like Roth conversions or max the bracket strategies and various other ones. Remember, the current tax law under the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act is set to sunset in 2025, and it's pretty widely accepted that tax rates will likely go up in the future. So if you can start taking advantage of those strategies now while tax rates are lower and you have an extended tax planning window, then you can really benefit and save yourself a lot in taxes in your retirement. So at a quick glance, you can see how beneficial this can be for retirees. And in future videos, we're gonna dive deeper into some of these concepts and help you understand how to make the best out of this new law. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, now is your chance so that you can learn more about how to plan a better retirement. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope you'll join us for our next video. And until then, stay wise and stay wealthy.